What's up, family? Man, peace and blessings and more power to everybody that's out here building and getting their mind right. You understand me? I'm out here in LA on my way to the gym. I find it important to get myself together. The goal is to go into 2023 with new habits rather than going to 2023 with goals. And one of those habits is about, getting my physical optimization up. But I gathered you all here today, you understand me, to talk about something that I've been studying deeply, and that's artificial intelligence systems and artificial intelligence programs, and mental optimization. And really the keys to both of these is that they go hand in hand. While most people can't see the world for what it truly is, I try to study and put my people up on game. For those who like to tap in with me, you understand me? First of all, I want to say foremost is that anybody that want to get coaching from me, join me in the BWO, where I teach every Monday and then every other Wednesday as well. Therefore, you can ask direct questions. You can get direct live coaching. You understand me? And if you go through it with 2023, text BWO to 323-577-6692. You understand me? Some of the greatest minds will come out of there of BWO. Now back to the subject at hand. AI is a scary tool, but also it's a tool that can be used. We live in a society to where you got the 85%, right? These are the sheep of the world, the unknowing, the ignorant to reality. You understand me? Appreciate it, Tamika. I'm about to go work out. I wasn't gonna do it, but I got to keep the habits rolling. But it's like you got the ignorant and the sheep of society, right? They don't really think for themselves. As I've been studying this, and I've been studying some of the thought leaders in this space, what they plan on doing with it is what, the 1% have always done with it. They have access, like Google and Amazon, they have access to these tools to where they can take your data and they can utilize it to manipulate and control you. They can create entire, in China right now, they have where you have to put your signature and put your identity connected to the media that you push out, because a lot of it can just be auto-generated by AI. So China, when you want to know what's going to happen in America and the world, China is ahead of most of the world, right? Regulation is not the same out there, and in some cases it's more stricter, but in a lot of cases it's looser, right? To where their technology is way far advanced than ours is. Right. And so they're looking at it because they don't want a world that's driven by AI, because then the government starts to lose control. Right. And you start to have unfair advantage in the hands of these people who are just intelligent enough to know how to manipulate society the same way the government manipulates society. And so now you got these competitors in this field. And so it's dangerous when you got competitors in a field that normally, right, require you to have an outside amount of resources in order to be able to compete. But now you just have to have a level of intelligence and creativity. And so creativity and execution are going to be two of the main defining factors for those who will be successful in the future. And the reason I say that specifically is because once you gain access to these tools, you will have the same computing power as, let's say, Google, same computing power as Amazon, same computing power as Apple, right? And let's say you can ask AI to generate, a description list of all of the things you need to do in your business, all the things you need to do in your life, all the things you need to do to create whatever you want. And the AI will create, a list of everything. But there's going to be a difference. And this is where you're going to find out the people that's really real about what they say they are, and the people that's bullshitting and they put excuses in front of their execution. Because now that you have the directions, now that you have the instructions, and this is the world that we live in. We live in a world where you can get, I'm talking about step-by-step instructions on any and everything that you want to do. But why people suffer so much with procrastination is because they suffer with the hard, challenging emotions that they don't want to go towards, right? Those things that really make human beings, which is the willfulness, right? The ability to be able to push out your power and your consciousness onto the world. And so now we in this part of society where we have an over, we have everybody has access to information, and it's information overload, but now it's information exhaustion. Shout out to my brother Fahim in the building. It's information exhaustion. Now you got so much information, you know exactly what to do, but you don't have any willful spirit anymore. So you got to understand that society does not roll things out by accident, right? Most powerful tool being used right now is owned by Amazon, which is competing with Google. And this is going to be this AI war that's going to come out. And you're going to see all of these different tools that's going to come out. And most of the jobs that you all have right now requires a very small monkey brain of intelligence to be able to do. I'm just being honest with you. And so people are mad that the AI will replace jobs, but most of these jobs weren't jobs that require you to utilize any human spirit, creativity, or intelligence. They're jobs of technique and memorization. That's it. And even most artists are mad that AI is creating art, but even your art doesn't really have a lot of, and this is not for all artists, but a lot of artists don't even have creativity in their art. It's not abstract art, it's technique art. Technique art is learning a technique and repeating that technique and being able to create, a picture. And this is the way AI does it. They learn a technique and they create. But creativity is the range of emotion that you add into the art that makes it human. So now human beings are getting to this point of dominion. Human beings are getting to this point of management. You're managing your thoughts, and you're at this point where imagine if you had the resources to where you can hire assistants so that anything that you wanted to get done, you can get it done. Right? This is what rich people do. Rich people essentially utilize human intelligence as their AI because they can increase their workforce. They can increase the intelligence of, their money by hiring people to do the things that they can't do. And now it's at this point where the average person is going to be able to do that as well. Right? So now you have an increased workforce, decreased overhead, increased intelligence, right? So you can output way more and you can get things done, right? Increase productivity, but it will not matter if you don't have any willfulness, if you don't have mental optimization for yourself. We're going to enter into the realm of self-mastery because you're going to be taking a look at yourself in the mirror and realize like, God damn, I actually have no excuses. All of them have been eliminated and I'm still not doing nothing. So it's going to be about your mental optimization and all these mental tools that you have, which none of it can come from technology. All of it comes from spiritual technology. All of it comes from the emotional intelligence, right? So this is why I chose to get into the field deeply of, coaching, mental, intellectual, spiritual, financial coaching, and management of people, because you realize that, the problem that we have right now is no longer a lack. We have a problem of the abundance, right? But a poor-minded person having access to too much and not having the ability to use it, because it's like a child being spoiled with so much money, but they don't have habits of money management. They don't have habits of idea creation. They don't have habits of proper execution and project management and time management, right? So therefore, we at this point now where human beings, your issue is that most of the information that you intake on a daily basis means nothing and it matters not. It has zero return, right, of activity. It has zero return of investment. Go look at all our blog culture. Black media has it the worst. All our blog culture, 99% of it is devalued. It's worth nothing. Go look at Shade Room. Go look at everything on Shade Room. 99% of it, 99.9% of it is worth nothing. Go look at Spiritual World. 99.9% of it is worth shit. Go look at Baller Alert. Go look at Hollywood Unlocked. 99.9% of it is worth shit. Go look at your top ranked podcast right now. 99.9% of the things that they talk about have nothing to do with your mental optimization, your spiritual, your financial optimization, your intellectual capabilities, value bringing, education, goal setting, orientation, technology, future development, nation building, right? Engineering, science, right? None of these things whatsoever. And then discussions are had on these platforms. Oh, black people are not doing this and that. Well, you're not adding, right, and contributing as a factor that is a value ranking towards black America or just the world, period. Because I know we got Asians, we got blacks, we got whites, and people be asking, why are you always talking to black people? Listen, I'm going to give you a simple formula in life. First of all, I'm a black man, so I speak a black language. But it's so universal that it benefits all people. That's how bad, that's how powerful the game is, right? When we speak to each other, I was just listening. This is brother name, I can't forget his name. Can't remember his name. But I love this example. I'm going to talk about this brother all year. He created the doorknob when he was 16 years old. And this how cold we are. Like, it's a bruh, he was 16 years old, young black boy. He created the doorknob. Then he went and got it patented. Man, like, now I was thinking, I said, damn, it makes sense that a black boy and a black man would create the doorknob. You understand me? Because you got to imagine white folks probably just walking up in people's cribs. You can't do nothing. Man, I'm about to put a lock on this, though. Right? But think about that. Every day you utilize a doorknob. You don't know that part of your design in your daily life, you have a young black boy's genius to thank for that. Every single day you have to twist a knob. Every single day of your life. And you're utilizing your own people's genius, but you don't even know how genius you are and where you come from and where you stem from, because the story of your history has not been told properly. So you look outside and you see drill music. You look outside and you see niggas, and you think that that's the reality of your DNA, and it's not. Just in the 1800s, we was inventing all of modern day conveniences today. Just in the 1800s. Right? So you talking about a people barely getting out of, slavery, but with the mind of inventive, masterful genius. Now, they didn't go to MIT. They didn't have all of these degrees that put yourself in debt. What did they have? They had a willfulness. They were still attached to their creativity. You understand me? They were still attached to their human ingenuity. They still produced ideas at a massive rate. And being 16 years old had nothing like being 16. People look at that, but it's like, who told you that age was a determining factor, right, on capability? No, see, now 16-year-olds is trying to figure out how they gonna sneak out the house, go to a party, get high, have sex, do some crazy crap. Listen to their favorite music. Now they complaining about being depressed and stressed now because they don't have no mental fortitude. But when you talking about 16-year-olds creating a doorknob and then go getting it patent, like that's just the everyday carry-on way to go about life. But we don't normalize that sort of thinking. So anything of excellence, we think is special. We don't know how to normalize that. We normalize ignorance. And when we see somebody not being ignorant, it's considered to be special. Because we decrease that part of us that is special, right? This light bulb right here. Lewis Latimer created the filament for the light bulb, right? There's no light bulb without a black man creating that. You understand me? Like you walk in the house, you turn the doorknob, you flicker the light, and these are inventions from your people, but you don't think about it because what happened was, if we don't tell you it was invented by a black person, the assumption is that a white person invented it. That's white supremacy in the mind. That is the greatest example of white supremacy. It's the assumption of white genius. So you have to be taught about your contribution, because otherwise you will give unconscious contribution to white genius. Brother Jerry Dobie say it's not true. Yes, it is. I'm not here to argue with y'all. Yes, it is. We talking about society and the generalization of society, and we know goddamn well that's true. Sometimes y'all just want to argue for the sake of trying to sound smart, but we know the reality of it. Now, when we looking around, and I'm looking at the traffic, I'm seeing all these lights. Now I'm thinking about a black man. When you look at these buildings all throughout America, you don't make no assumption a black man owns that building. You don't. You make no.
I appreciate you and your high level conversations. That's what I'm all about. And just know that when I tune into you, I appreciate your work every day with consistency. And your work doesn't go unnoticed.
Yes, sir.
Just know
Appreciate it.
I really, really do appreciate you. Dick,
No, not right
give
now.
a
I'm
little
going
bit
to
of
finish
game
my
real quick?
monologue, my thought thread. All right. Peace to the
All
God.
right, brother.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. So when they I get interrupted and they mute me, I got to add somebody in so that it brings the sound back. So I learned that little trick. You understand me? But I want to stay on my thought thread. You know, I be having these threads of thoughts that I have to bring back. So, you know, the whole idea of this conversation, you understand me, is to really to get you to understand like where we headed to going into 2023. You understand me? Like the decay of mental output, the decay of thinking for self, the decay of willfulness in society is our number one issue right now, our ability to think. And we don't even know it. We don't even realize it. None of these other problems, some of you all are living way above your intellectual means because of your willfulness to actually execute on something from start to finish. You have great ideas, right? You are very creative. That's your intellectual means, right? But you may lack experience and you may lack execution, right? And the intake on a daily basis, and people know this, right? Nowadays I can get access to different people. So I asked them, why do you put out certain things? And it's just to make money, right? So they realize that most of society is so dumb that they can capitalize on it, right? So they have no responsibility or accountability towards anything of productive contribution, right? And it's like, all right, now that we know that you willfully and intentionally and you are aware of the things that you do, right? And some of us, we don't even realize when you are a sheep. There's a lot of sheep that think they're wolves, right? Which makes it even more easier to fool you because you don't realize what percentage of your habits are actually habitual and very sheep-like. The way you think, the way you feel, right? Most of the time, we don't even want to spend time, measuring our true feelings and measuring our true thinking. So we allow somebody else to tell us what we feel and tell us what we think about just about every situation. And so we're always looking for somebody to fill in the gap when we don't want to think for ourselves because most people aren't good at thinking for themselves anymore. And when you have to do a task that you're not good at, it makes you feel bad. So it makes you want to procrastinate on it. So therefore, thinking and feeling for yourself is a task that human beings have now put on to other people, right? So when we talk to people like, yo, what do you think about this? Yo, what do you feel about this? is because you can't even trust your own feelings because you don't even have enough experience with them. So the emotional IQ, right, and intellectual IQ is very low. And intentional thinking is not something that most people have done in a very long time. So when you go look at, you don't see varying experiences, you don't see varying opinions, varying perceptions, you don't see depth or dimension, right, on different subjects and topics that's laid out, through society. Because the first thing when we hear about something, we search for somebody else to think for us, and then we relay that message of somebody else who took the time and think for themselves, or somebody who just copying somebody else thinking that was thinking. We don't even know where's the root of this even come from, right? So when I talk to people, all I hear is clones, right? All I hear is what somebody else felt, and they passed it down to you, and then you pass it to somebody else, right? Human beings are terrible at passing information, by the way. It's never accurate. So even a person that, first felt that or first thought that, their original thinking, the thoughts, the depth, the perception, the context is not even in the quality of what's being passed down, right? So you got to realize that it's dangerous when you take society's opinion and you find yourself aligned with it. That's the first step of knowing that you're being a sheep. Like, damn, what does the world think? I think the same thing. Oh, that's the sheep. You don't want to think what the world thinks. Oh, what is the mass opinion on this? Damn, I got the same opinion. I must not have thought for myself. Just think about that for a second. Anytime you find yourself surveying your own thoughts and feelings, when you find it matches, because what we try to do in society is we really want to fit in. So when you have your own thought process, you will surrender it to be connected to the crowd so that you don't have to go through the feeling of being ostracized for thinking different or feeling different about a situation. So when you share perspective, usually in public, you're sharing the perspective that you know will be accepted, not your true feelings or thoughts. Then you learn, and this is where it gets dangerous, where you become deceptive towards yourself, where you start to justify it and defend it, even though you know that's not your original thought. All right now. So that's why people be so messed up, and that's why I don't like talking to people a lot of time, because people don't like talking about nothing, and they be want to waste my time talking about nothing, just so they can hear themselves talk, So I'd rather be in isolation for elevation, right, rather than to be in the crowd for assimilation. You feel me? We're not doing that, because the things that I be thinking about on a daily basis, I don't have the ready availability to just call somebody and have a conversation about it. So that lets me know that I need to change the flow of people that I tap in with. That lets me know, like, damn, I'm studying this, I'm on to this right now. I don't put that expectation on people that I already know, because they not on what I'm on. So now I need to find the people that own it, so I can surround myself with people that's thinking of these same things, so that I can increase my intellectual range on that. Now I'm like, one thing I am is I'm responsible about what I learned in the environment that I'm in. That's going to help facilitate this new education that I have, this new thinking path that I'm on, right? And what people try to do is they get new evolution, they get new growth, and then they try to be around the same environment and the same people, right? And then those people treat them a certain way, and it's like, well, that was your path. They never said they wanted to go that way, and you mad that nobody else is coming along with you, right? So you got to be able to recognize people that's on similar vibrations when you start to elevate yours. And then when you're ready to go back on that vibe that they on, go lock in with them. Or maybe you don't want to go back on that, so you move forward, right? And so everybody is not on those paths of elevation, and that's what you got to know as well. But when you're on those paths, it requires separation, So if you're going to be a human being that want to constantly evolve, constantly grow, constantly build yourself, constantly learn new things, you have to also realize that you may have to constantly switch out people in your life, because you're constantly switching frequencies. And the people that's in your life right now is on a certain frequency. They on your party vibe. Maybe they on your entrepreneur vibe, right? Maybe they on your travel vibe right now, right? You can talk to them about a certain range of thoughts and ideas. You can move to them around a certain places, But once you switch those places, those thoughts, those things, those ideas, that emotional range, you might switch from confidence to insecurity, and you may have been in an insecure crowd, and now you got to be around more confident people, right? So you got to know when you got to switch vibrations and frequencies just from how you tune in yourself. You did. Otherwise, man, you will have expectations of people to match your vibe that don't. And you going to be looking at yourself, decreasing your own vibration when you was on the path to elevation. So it's a cold game, but you got to understand everybody is not that, and you don't want to overthink yourself and be like, oh, I'm just advancing so much, I got to get rid of these people. That's not what I'm saying. You got to search your soul and find your truth to know exactly what you're really doing, but don't overthink the things that you do. Because I think that that's some people's problem as well. They think too much, and oh, I read one book, I'm on this path. Now you start looking down on people. Nah, it's just that you're not really in it yet. You know, I seen a great post today, and I thought it was very wise. I'm gonna leave y'all on this. He said, you know, negative thoughts don't produce negative things. You know, just thinking something negative not gonna give you a negative life, but unconscious and subconscious negative thoughts will. Right? I want y'all to think about that really deep. You not just what you think about, you what you believe. There's a lot of things that you think that you don't believe. You can tell yourself something. Tell yourself, I'm going to start running every single day at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to run a full mile. You can tell yourself that you thought about it, but you don't believe it because it's not in your subconscious. So it's not about just thinking something negative, feeling something negative. It has to be a subconscious programmed negative thought that lies under your thoughts. That's your ground. That's your fertile ground. That's your roots. You understand me? So you're not what you think, you what you believe. Remember that. So when you're around people, I listen to what people say, but I try to find what do you believe though. That's your unconsciousness. That's your subconsciousness. That's below what you're saying. That's below what you're thinking. That's into your belief system. That's that part of us that is very hard to change once it becomes crystallized. So that's all I wanted to say to y'all today. I might go get this workout in. But I told myself, and then every day I started to prove to myself, like, yo, I believe you. You actually on this path. You about to work out. You about to get yourself together. You about to look like you playing in Creed 4. You understand me? I believe you, Keys. So we got to work on convincing ourselves, and it's the same thing with people in our lives. We got to work on convincing them through our actions of development. You understand me? To where it becomes habitual, right? And then you can serve as an example. But don't do one good thing and then want everybody to believe you because it ain't even true yet. Peace, family. I love y'all. I see y'all in the BWO for mental optimization. You understand me? Get yourself together, man. Give yourself the greatest gift that you could possibly give. You know, first month, $200, y'all pull up. Let's get it together, man. I appreciate y'all. Text Coach 323. Oh, I put the whole wrong number. Text Coach to 323-577-6692. You understand me? Make sure you enroll. Screenshot it. We'll make sure you get into the Discord, and we got an app that's releasing as well. It's already fully done and fleshed out. You get access to everything. You can lock in with me on a weekly basis. You understand me in the private. So we're going to be locked in for that one. I love y'all. Appreciate it. Screenshot that number or click the link in the bio.